Hey bosses, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to share some tips for those that are discouraged in the job search process. And I myself have been a job seeker, so I know that it is not a fun process. There's no way of putting it lightly. Nobody ever goes into the job search saying, this is so much fun, I want to do this for the rest of my life. So the good news though is I learned a lot of career advice just through the years as being a recruiter and HR professional, but also from having awesome mentors in my life. So what I want to do is share 11 tips for those that are feeling discouraged, worried, nervous, insert any negative emotion. Don't worry, you will get over this hump in your life and your career is going to skyrocket. So let's talk about the 11 tips that I want to share. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe as I dish out the best career advice every Thursday on this channel. Let's talk about tip number 1, which is do not take the first job that comes your way out of desperation. Now, unless you are living paycheck to paycheck and you're about to get evicted and you have no choice but to take the first job that comes along, please, please, please do yourself a favor and really take the time to assess whether or not this position is going to be good for you in the long run. Because here's what happens. When people take jobs out of desperation, they find themselves in that job search phase again. Only 3 months later, they have a full-time job and they're full-time job searching. It is not a fun place to be. The second thing that happens is a lot of job seekers feel that they have to stay in one place because they don't want to look like a job hopper on their resume. So make sure that the next position you take, you've really evaluated, can I stay here for at least a year? At least from what you know. There's always going to be some nuances. Some things may not be exactly as they were presented, and that's a different conversation. But for the most part, you should be assessing, is this job going to be a long-term fit? If not, and you really need to pay the bills because you're afraid of being evicted, find a part-time job doing something where you can pay the bills to stay afloat. Whether that means bartending, waitressing, being a barista, whatever it is that allows you the flexibility to make a concrete decision for the long term is what you really need. The second tip I want to offer up is please, please, please do not take rejection personally. I know sometimes this is easier said than done. However, I want to share with you that there are at least 20 different reasons why a company would go with another candidate that has nothing to do with you personally. For example, when I was a recruiter, I was responsible for bringing in top candidates. I did find a really awesome candidate across the board. However, the hiring manager felt that they were threatened by this particular candidate and decided to go with somebody much more junior. So just know that it has nothing to do with you, but you will find the right company and the right employer for you. The third tip that I want to share with you is make sure that when you apply online, you are applying to positions where you meet 80% of the job requirements. I know so many job seekers who say, I can't apply to that position because I don't have XYZ. Unless it says required, you do not need to have everything. And the reason being is if you have everything, you're going to be bored. Most likely you're taking a step back in your career or you're making a lateral move. Don't you want to be challenged? Employers also want to know that you're going to be challenged because it means that you have room to grow and you're not going to show up bored or resentful in that position day in and day out. Do, however, take the moment to write a cover letter addressing what skills you don't have and how you are going to acknowledge that gap and how you're proactively working on bridging it now. Tip number 4 is be confident. Confidence is key. If you go into an interview and you say, I think I can do this versus I know that I can do this or I believe that I can do this, your interviewer is going to have reservations about what you can deliver because you yourself aren't coming off as confident in doing so. So this applies to beyond just the job search. really practice your confidence. Start getting into the habit of showing up as a leader for yourself in the way that you present yourself and the way that you speak to others. And this can be in any conversation, including with friends and family. Start practicing now so that in the workplace, you are no different. You're the same person. The fifth tip I want to share is that brevity is king. Jeff Bezos writes one sentence emails to his team, which everybody calls the ticking time bomb. When they see it, they feel like he's really curt and short with them, but in fact, he's just very productive, clear, and concise, and directly to the point. If you're sending messages to your colleagues, to your boss, to a recruiter, and they have to scroll to get to the point of your message, it is too long. I want to really challenge you and start pretending that everything is a tweetable. If you have 140 characters to say what it is that you want to say, how would you state it? Continue practicing this, as this is a professional skill that is going to help you for years to come. The seventh tip I have, and if you've been following me for a while, you know that I am hugely against applying online. Instead, start making relationships and building connections with people who are found online in Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups, on LinkedIn, wherever it is. Find your community or your tribe of people who are having the same interests, passions, background, industry niche, whatever it is. You should be connecting with people on a greater scale rather than just applying online and putting your resume into a black hole. Tip number 8 is use LinkedIn as a Rolodex. The moment you meet someone, even if it's a brief encounter, you should be adding them to LinkedIn. Continue building this out, because the more connections you have, the more your network expands. But not only that, you can learn so much about somebody's background just by connecting with them on LinkedIn. You can start to see if you have any commonalities, any common interests. Do you know anybody in common? This is going to be key for you to really start to develop relationships and also stay in touch with people who might be able to help you, or you might be able to help them later on in your careers. Tip number 9 is to start making a list of companies that you actually admire and would love to work for. So instead of applying online to any company that's populating for your title that you're going for, you should be looking and seeing, what companies do I actually want to help build its product or service? What companies have a mission or values that are aligned with mine? And as you start to create this list, you can get very targeted and narrow and figure out, where can I now meet people, current employees of this company, so I can start fostering those relationships. The other thing that this allows you to do is really design the type of lifestyle that you want. If you only want to commute 15 minutes, great. Start looking for companies within that mile radius so that you can eliminate all of the others that aren't going to be within your scope. If you're looking to relocate to, say, Chicago, awesome. Find the companies in Chicago that are aligned with your values based on your research. Then and only then are you going to really find companies that are so aligned with your vision that you're going to feel super happy and fulfilled building this product or service. Tip number 10, I want you to start attending industry events and professional organizations around your function, your industry, your demographic, your geographical location, whatever it is that will allow you to meet like-minded professionals and continue learning and growing. So imagine that if you are in human resources, that you are in a professional organization filled with 500 human resource members. Wow, that is a really great way to engage and learn from others, but also build your relevant connections, right? If you are a young professional and you want to meet others who are kind of going through the same motions as you, join a young professionals group. Start to learn from others, mingle with others in different industries, different companies, etc. It's a really great way to continue cultivating your relationships, so by the time you are ready to job search, you're not starting from zero, but you've spent all of this time building all of these amazing friendships around you that people can now help you and say, oh, have you considered working for my company? That is ideal. So if you haven't started already, start now. The last tip that I want to leave you with is confidently following up with people, because we are all busy human beings. And oftentimes we appreciate a gentle nudge to say, hey, I just wanted to make sure you got this last message. Please let me know if you're able to help, or whatever your message is. But I have so many clients who feel really shy about reaching out again, as if they're a burden or they're stepping on someone's toes. But I want to share with you, when done correctly, so long as you're polite and not aggressive or overly demanding, you are actually doing someone a favor, because again, we're all busy. We could all use a gentle reminder, and sometimes that nudge is all we need to say, oh yeah, I meant to get back to you. Thank you so much for reminding me. So there you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed those 11 tips. If you're feeling discouraged in your job search, just know that you can start implementing these and really make sure that you're moving forward in the process. Let me know down below which one you felt was most helpful. I'd love to hear. And of course, if you have any other great career advice or tips for discouraged job seekers, leave them down below. Also, don't forget to check out the link in the description, as there is a free Facebook group for ambitious corporate professionals who are ready to help and give each other career advice, networking support, and so on. So please join. It's free, and I can't wait to see you on the inside.